Now, if you want to see the network editor, you can click on edit and you will get that option, a virtual network editor here. Okay. Someone asked this thing in chat. That's why. Cool. Now guys, we are done with the one part of our lab. VMware workstation configuration is done along with the NIC card creation. Now I will start the Palo Alto firewall over image installation. Now, if I'll go here into the drive, if I'll go into Palo Alto images, you will see all these images here, right? 6, 7, 8, 9 version and 10 version, right? The latest version is Palo Alto 10 series. Okay. So on my laptop, basically, I will install Palo Alto 10 series. Now, in which cases you have to install Palo Alto 8 or Palo Alto 9 image, guys. So let's suppose the people who is just having 12 GB of RAM in your laptop. If you are just having 12 GB of RAM in your laptop, either you can install Palo Alto 8, either you can install Palo Alto 9.1.6. If people who is having RAM more than 16 GB and more, basically they can install Palo Alto 10 in your laptop or in your VMware workstation. Because when we install Palo Alto 10, we will give minimum of 8 GB of RAM. Because if you will configure the less RAM for Palo Alto 10, you will get lots of slowness basically. You will get lots of slowness here. But if you will set, and for Palo Alto 9 or Palo Alto 8, you just need to set the level of 4.5 GB of RAM. Generally, it will take the default value basically. Okay. So these are the things you have to remember basically. Now, in your 8 GB RAM, 8 GB laptop also you can install Palo Alto 8. It will works fine, guys. If you don't have a good laptop, then you can basically use that. Now, go here. I have a Palo Alto image 10 here, right? So I just select this one and I just write, I will click on open with VMware workstation. If you will not get that option, what you can go with open with, and here you will get definitely VMware workstation. If you were not getting, then click on choose application and you can basically select the application. So I have shown you all the ways. Now you will see here Palo Alto 10. So I'll just put the name here. Palo Alto firewall 02. Click on import. So now import is going on. This import will take around 3 to 5 minutes, guys. So you have to wait here. It will take around 3 to 5 minutes, guys. So just wait here. Okay, so now you have seen import has been completed. And guys, last time I have mentioned, generally when you will install Palo Alto 8 or Palo Alto 9.1.6, they will get by default 5.5 GB of RAM. Just remember. Okay, so you have to give that RAM only in case of Palo Alto 8 and Palo Alto 9. But as you know, I have used here Palo Alto 10. So I have to increase the RAM size. So I will click on edit virtual machine settings and I will put here 8 GB of RAM for the better performance. Okay. 8 GB RAM. Processor is fine here. You don't need to change anything with regards to processor. Click on OK. Click on edit one more time. So we have a 8 GB RAM, 2 processor, hard disk is 60 GB, that is more than enough. Network adapter, you will get here 3 network adapters by default. But let's suppose these 3 adapter, first adapter we will make as a management interface, M0 by 0. Then let's say this is Ethernet 1 by 1 outside, this inside. Then how we can simulate DMZ and the other zones as well, or other interfaces if you want to. So what you can do for that? Now we have to add here multiple adapters. How we can do that? It's very easy. What you have to do? You have to click on add, click on yes. You will get a network adapter. Click on next, next. Add here, network adapter, next, next. Add here, next, next. Now I have around here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 adapters, right? 6 interfaces more than enough for lab, but I'm using 2 more interface, guys, because I uses these firewall for different purpose actually. Okay. So in my case, because I have deleted my firewall wrongly yesterday, so that's why I'm adding 2 more adapters here. Okay. Now how you will set up these adapters? Just remember, your first network adapter always you have to set as a type net. Your second adapter is always you have to set as a bridged. Your third network adapter you have to set always as a VMnet 1. This adapter you can set as a VMnet 2. Now next one as a VMnet 3. The next one as a VMnet 4. The next one as a VMnet 5. And this one as a VMnet 6. Right? This is how we have to set our adapters in your Palo Alto Firewall VMware. Because your first adapter is denoting your management interface of your Palo Alto Firewall. This adapter, because I'll always use Ethernet 1 by 1 interface as a outside interface. So that's why I have set this as a bridge. Bridged means this adapter has connected with my internet. Then this I always use as an inside, this I always use as a DMZ, and these are the other interfaces which I will use for some other purpose. Once you will done with that, so guys, this is the, if you will see, this is the things you have to basically configure in your environment. So what I can do, let me just take the snapshot of it. And guys, during the lab setup, do not do any kind of fast forwarding. Just watch the recording and do the installation properly, guys. Okay. So I'm just taking the screenshot of this tab, put here, because I needed this one basically when I will explain the connectivity part. Now, what I will do, guys, just forget about this thing. I will configure a 16 GB RAM and I will use here 4 core CPU because I have a sufficient RAM and sufficient processor on my laptop, because I will license this file later on. So that's why I'm giving here more resources. But in your case, you don't need to give that much. You can just give here 8 GB RAM for Palo Alto 10 and you are good to go. Click on OK. Once you will done all with that, do not power on, guys. Do not click on power on this machine. Just go back here again and you will see some adapters order has been changed, right? Now we have to fix that order. Here we have to go with VMnet 2, VMnet 3, then here you have to go with VMnet 4, then 5, then 6. Now your order is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First is net, right? Click on OK. Now, what you have to do? Now you have to locate that folder basically on your system. So in my system, always when you will install these machines, they will store into your documents, virtual machine, and you will share parallel to firewall too, right? This is the firewall. If you go back here, because I have multiple machines here, if I'll go back here, if you go into the details, click on edit machine settings. If you click on this, you can go to into options and you can get that folder here, right? If you will browse, you can able to see this is the folder here, right? In your documents, virtual machine, Palo Alto firewall 2, right? This is the one. From here, you can able to locate that part. Click on OK now. Go back here, go inside this folder. Now you have to do one thing. If you will not do that thing, guys, your Palo Alto firewall, it will just keeps rebooting all the time. Here, what you have to do, you have to look for this file, VMware virtual machine configuration file. It's just a 4 KB of files in some machines, size is 4 KB, 5 KB, or 3 KB. Don't worry about that. But the name is virtual machine, VMware virtual machine configuration, and this is the file name. So you can basically locate by looking into type of file. Okay. Once you will see this thing, what you have to do, go here, right click and edit bit notepad plus plus. So it will open here like that. Now go down and you will see here this thing, Ethernet 0 virtual dev equals to BMX net 3. Just copy this particular thing. Just highlight this part. So you will see virtual dev equals to BMX net 3 here. Here also virtual dev equals to BMX net 3. Here also virtual dev equals to BMX net 3. But you will see here the below adapter Ethernet 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe in your case, if whatever adapter you will add, you will see these adapters type is E1000. Now we have to replace this E1000 with BMXNet3. Copy, paste. Just paste here. Remove this E1000 and put here BMXNet3. If you will not do that, your Palo Alto, it will just keeps rebooting. It will not come up. Select it and just verify. Everywhere we have BMXNet3, Ethernet 3, right, 4, 5, 6, and 7 virtual dev equals to BMXNet3. Right? Here also 1, 2, and for 0, right? Which means we are good now. What do you have to do? Just click on Control S here, save this file, close this file, go back here, open again with Notepad, and let's verify whatever changes you have done, they have implemented or not. Yeah, we have saved, which means we are good to go now. Go back here, close this folder, don't need now. Just click on power on this virtual machine. We have powered on this virtual machine. You will get, we are getting here name. Welcome to the PAN OS, which is Palo Alto operating system. Now it's just rebooting. Now what it is doing here, you will see, welcome to PAN OS. Now it is starting the PAN OS services, starting VDEV, right? This is the host name of your machine. This is the default host name VM, right? This is the version 10.0.0. It's verifying all the directory structure and everything is fine or not. You will see etc fstab and all, right? It is running on init run level 3. You don't need to know all these information, okay? But now booting is going on basically for your Palo Alto networks. It is performing the power on self test basically. Everything is fine or not. You will get these options like power on self test has been passed, right? Management plane OS has verification passed, right? Rule file system post and everything is verifying the PAN OS integrity on the root file, right? So just wait here, and this process, guys, it will take around 5 to 10 minutes basically. So we have to stay like that only. Now you will see here it has starting the daemon process. Your logger is started, RPC bind, NFS service, right? PanOS software. Now from here, if you will see guys, as I have mentioned yesterday, Palo Alto Firewall is a customized version of BSD Linux, right? So till here, your BSD Linux is completed. Now your Palo Alto application is started from here. Pan software is starting from here basically. Till here, your BSD Linux was booting. Let's wait here. Now it is starting, and this process really take time, guys. Okay, Pan application it needs around some time. Now, guys, just remember one thing. If you will see, by default, IP address on your Palo Alto firewall is 192.168.1.1. Net mask is 255.255.255.0, and broadcast is 192.168.1.2550. This is the default IP address of your Palo Alto firewall. If somebody asks in your interview, what is the default IP of your Palo Alto firewall? You have to tell 192.168.1.1. Now you will see, you will get here this login prompt. You will see here kernel version and everything. So if you will try to log in here, now, anyone know what is the default username and password for this? So the default username here is admin, and password is also admin. Now, in your interview, what they will ask, what is the default username of your Palo Alto firewall? What is the default password of your Palo Alto firewall? And what is the default IP address of your Palo Alto firewall? So you have to answer like that. This is the popular question basically. If you are going for some L2 position and all, they may ask this question as well. Now, if you will click here, if you will put here admin, and if you will put here admin, right now you will see previously it was VM login, right? Now it is HDF state. So this is the transient state basically, which means your BSD Linux is up and running on BSD Linux basically. Now my Palo Alto, they've started the Palo Alto software. Now Palo Alto software is started, but in Palo Alto software, guys, once Palo Alto software will start, there is a one daemon called master D. Master D daemon, what it will do, it is a father of all the demons. Now this daemon first start, once master D is started. So in master D, we have a two processes, master D core 1 or master D core, we can say. One master D core runs on your management plane and another master D core runs on data plane. And as I have shown you yesterday, that daemon diagram, right? What it will do now? Now this master D in your management plane, it will first start the sysd system daemon, which is also known as sysd daemon. Now what is this sysd daemon? This daemon is a mother of all the demons. And after that, basically what it will do, now this master daemon, what once this system daemon is started, now this master D, it will communicate with system D and it will try to start all the other demons process basically. Same in your data plane as well, because your system daemon is the main daemon who will communicate with all the other demons basically. And now it will initialize all the other demons. Okay, so that's why always Once you will get this VM login, at least wait till 5 minutes basically, or sometimes it needs around 10 minutes as well as per your resources. Then only it will allow to your login, because how we are login here on a console, right? Which means it needs to start some kind of process. Then only basically we can able to log in, right? So this is the something theory here. Now you will see by default, because see, if you remember when we've installed this VMware workstation on VMnet 8, we have configured, we have enabled the DHCP option. That's why you will see I have got the IP address on my Palo Alto firewall from DHCP. That is the benefit. When you enable the DHCP option in your VMware, your machine will get IP address now. But what I will do, I'll always like to configure the IP address by myself on my environment. Again, if I'll try to log in, it will not allow me to log in still. Yeah, it is allowing me now. Enter old password. What is the old password is? Admin. It is asking to change the password. Now enter the new password. So I always enter here admin with capital A at the rate 123. Admin with capital A at the rate 123. Now I have successfully changed the password, and you will see I'll got the Palo Alto firewall login page. Now let me just go through with this process. Here it is asking to login. So I have put here username is admin. Here is ask the password. So password is admin. Now it is asked enter the old password is also admin. Enter the new password here. So I have entered here new password, which is admin at the rate 123. Always enter some this kind of number. Actually, it is having around 8 characters. It is including some special character and some numbers and your some capital letters and lowercase and uppercase. Confirm the password. I have entered the this. Now my password is successfully changed and I got the Palo Alto firewall login page. Now, if you go here, if you click show system info, this is the first command I always run on my Palo Alto firewall to check the details. Once you will run this command, you will get here host name of your Palo Alto machine, manage IP address. This IP address, where this IP address is configured. This is the IP address of your management interface. Just remember. Then you will get the network, subnet mask, and the default gateway 192.168.137.2. As assignment is DHCP, and you will get the other details as well. But the most important part is MAC address. Now, why this MAC address is having some importance? Let's suppose in your production environment, this is your Palo Alto firewall. This is the management interface of your Palo Alto firewall, and it has connected with one of the switch. Let's say on switch F0x10 interface. Now, how you will make sure, because I have seen because this field engineer, they used to do the cabling part and they are not a knowledgeable person. They are not aware about much things. So what they used to do generally, they used to connect these cables. Now how you can verify the cable connection is proper or not? So that time you need this MAC address basically. So if you have configured the MAC address, if there's a problem with reaching your firewall, check the entry on this switch. It is connected with the proper port or not by looking into the MAC address table basically. So that's why you have to run this command to see this MAC address. Apart from this, this command is also important. If you will see right now, serial number is unknown because it is not having any kind of license, and by default Palo Alto just come with the base license. Okay. Now, when you will receive a device in the production environment, you have to register this device into the support portal. And if you want to register this device with the support portal, you need a serial number for that. So this command, when you will run show system info, it will also tells you the serial number basically. Okay. And if you want to register for virtual machines in the support portal, that time you also need VM UUID and VNCPH, guys. You can also check the other things as well, like software versions, application version, and everything by using this command. And by default, you will see PAL to come with this particular application version. This is the software version. So this command play a vital role basically. So system info to check all the information of your system. Apart from this, we also run this command. So interface management. We always run this command to check the management interface configuration, like IP address and other details, IP address, default gateway and all. Now, right now you have seen we have got the IP address from DHCP, but let's suppose you want to configure the static IP address. Now, how you will do that? For that, you have to go to into the configuration mode. Now, just remember one thing. I will type for exit. Now we in your Palo Alto 5, we have two modes of operation. First mode is this one. This mode is known as operational mode. And this mode with hash sign is known as config mode. So if you want to do any kind of changes and all on your Palo Alto firewall, you have to go into the config mode, guys. Just remember by running this command configure. If you'll go here and if you will type here configure, you will get into the config mode. Now, if you want to change the IP address in your management interface, as I have mentioned, by default, DHCP client option is enabled in your management interface. That is the reason your management interface got the IP address from DHCP. So what you have to first change that option. So you have to run this concept device config. This is the command system type. By default, it is in DHCP client mode. If you will see the arrow is in DHCP client option, right? But I want a static IP. So I will just change the static here. And after that, I will run this command set device config system. To run the question mark, you will get all these commands here. I will run here IP address. Configure the IP address. I want to configure 192.168.137.53. I will configure a 53 IP address. Then net mask. I'll configure the net mask as well. 255.255.255.0. If you want, I can configure the default gateway as well. 192.168.137.2. If you want, you can configure the DNS setting also in the same command. DNCP server DNS setting server primary is 10.1.1.220 and secondary 8.8.8.8. Why I'm using here primary 10.1.1.220 because I have my internal DNS server. But in your case, you can configure primary as 8.8.8.8 and secondary as 4.2.2.2. Hit enter. So I have configured everything just in single line. If you want, I can also configure like this: set device config system IP address 192.168.137.53 like that. Then I will go here and I can configure the net mask by running command like that. These are the different ways, guys. Now, whatever you will prefer, you can go. Now, default gateway 192.168.137.2. Then DNS server primary, you can configure primary server 10.1.1.220 and secondary 8.8.8.8. Right? Now set device config system host name. What is the host name? I will configure Palo Alto firewall 02. Now, once I will done with that, so guys, now what I have to do, if whatever changes I have done, now I want to make these changes permanent. Means because whatever changes you will do, these changes will always save into the file called as candidate config file. Don't worry, we will do the lots of discussion on this file. Whatever changes I am making here, they will always save into the candidate config file. Now, if I want to make the changes, if I want to make these changes permanent, means I want to make these changes active on my firewall, then I have to basically run one command called as commit. I will run this commit command. So commit, what commit will do, it will save the candidate config into the running config basically. Don't worry, we will have a lots of discussion on these. Now let me just do the commit here. Just wait here. Okay, now you will see here commit has been completed, right? Now if you just click here exit, just run this command. So interface management, now see the IP address is 192.168.137.53, right? Go here, type the CMD in your main system and ping here 192.168.137.53 with -T. Ping is working, which means we are good to access this machine from our browser. Now, if you go to into your browser, type here https://192.168.1.53. Sorry, IP address I have put here wrong. It is 137, 192.160.137.53. Hit enter. You will get this privacy warning here due to the certificate. So I can just click on advanced and proceed. Log in here with admin. Password is admin at 123. Login. And now you will see I can able to access my Palo Alto firewall, right? This is how we will generally, or this is how we will basically do the installation of Palo Alto firewall in your VMware workstation. And if you are able to access, your firewall from browser, I am good with that basically. If you are able to do till here, which means we are good with the Palo Alto lab setup on your VMware workstation basically. We are good with that. Now what you have to do, now we are done with the Palo Alto installation, guys. Okay, this is how only we have to install the Palo Alto.